All right, so in your book, it goes through the required components of an IEP, and you can see there's present levels, annual goals, extent and participation in general ed, services and modifications, and behavior intervention plan, which some students have. And then any sort of information about the different modifications, strategies, a transition plan, depending on how old the student is. And so I thought I would actually show you a secondary student's IEP, just for an example. All right, so this is a student who had her IEP in San Francisco. You can see that we just have the information about her last few IEPs, what type of IEP meeting it was, and some just demographic information. Now, the big thing about reading this is that it gives her primary disability here. If she had a secondary one, it would be there, and it's specific learning disability. Now, a well-written IEP will actually go through and allow you to understand a little bit about what they mean by specific learning disability. So it's demonstrated by deficits in short-term auditory memory, language comprehension areas, and visual motor integration. Tashante struggles with attendance, completing assignments, and anger management. And then this is just for an initial one. You kind of get all of the when she was first diagnosed and given an IEP. So then you have her strengths, preferences, and interests. So she's interested in being a home care provider for the elderly. She'd like to go to CCSF after high school. She's very social and has been maturing over the last few years. Her social skills are improving, and she is now able to communicate her needs effectively. You always have to have the parents' concerns. So her parents' concerns was graduation and life after high school. She is close to finishing. When is it going to happen? And then you can see that she passed both her hearing and her vision. It should have the dates there as well. Sometimes it doesn't. Now, if she was an English language learner, then this CELT section would be completed, and then depending on what standardized tests the district has, then this section would be completed as well. So then it goes into the pre-academics, and this just kind of goes over how she's done in school, what her different levels are and goals are. So they use the Woodcock-Johnson 3, which is a formal assessment, and informal teacher assessments to figure out kind of where she was in school. So it says she decodes approximately at the 6th grade level. She struggles with identifying words that she's not familiar with and would benefit from vocabulary development. And then it talks about her fluency and then also math and writing. It says that her communication, her ability to express herself, and her needs is improving. She's able to keep appointments more, and she is able to arrive in class appropriately. Here it says her fine motor skills are age appropriate. Social emotional, she's impulsive, sometimes angry, confrontational, and off task. She has problems following directions. She continues to have poor attendance, much due to unstable housing and disrupted family issues, and spends much of her time trying to make up work rather than progressing with her learning. So you can see how all of these pieces actually affect her learning as well. For vocational, she had completed all sorts of assessments, and she had a plan for after high school of where she wanted to go to school. She has a plan for her career, and she also is being connected with the Department of Rehabilitation, which is a support service for helping her get jobs and paying for her school. So daily living is age appropriate, but she does live in multiple homes, and she doesn't have any current health issues. The next piece is around assistive technology. The student didn't need any other equipment, no, and that she is not an English language learner, and that this is her behavior does impede her learning or others' learning. And it says her attendance, attitude, and behavior in class impedes her learning and the learning of others if she's upset. And so So to address these issues, the staff does check-ins, has gotten her counseling services, has given positive verbal feedback, redirects her to make the right decision, and provides opportunities to process issues with the dean of the school. And she does have behavior goals. So there's that. And then here is her assessment. So she has done the statewide assessments, which were at that time, this is one of the things that's really been changing. She took the physical fitness test, and she was, I believe, able to pass the California exit exam. Once again, if she was an English language learner, she would have these assessment information as well. So here's her goals. So the big thing here is that it tells you the area of need, it tells you the baseline. So this one's her writing goal, and that she's able to write about a 6th grade level essay with details and edited writing. And so the teacher is now going to try to help her write a multiple paragraph expository composition. So that's more of a 9th to 12th grade goal. And let's see, there's some progress monitoring goals that haven't been filled out. And the next one is on calculations, so she'll work on that. And then she has an attendance goal. And she has a post-secondary transition goal. So this is, although she's completed all these assessments, she needs to complete her application to City College and placement tests and everything, and work on a workability internship and learn about budgeting and bank accounts. So it's a goal to try and help her just kind of get to the next stage of her life. So the different services, so remember I showed you in the last thing, on the last part 1, all the different types of placements she could have, and so all of those placements were discussed, and then the multidisciplinary team decided that it was most appropriate for her to be in the SDC because of the small class size and that staff are available for check-ins, and she does not need transportation at this time. So here is her services page, and you can see that she gets a career awareness through the workability program. She gets college awareness through the district at the high school. She gets specialized academic instruction. That's a really common one, and this one is through one-to-one support, provided visuals, in addition to verbal and written directions, clear objectives, redirections, reminders, checklists, differentiated instruction, so leveled work based on needs, and instruction on note-taking, including providing charts for her. And she does not get that extended school year that we talked about just a moment ago. The next piece is around FAPE, that's free and appropriate public education. So for PE, she's in the general education program. And then this is where she went to school and how much she is outside of the regular classroom 53% of the time. And then she takes regular classrooms and extracurricular activities 47% of the time. She's connected with County Mental Health and the Department of Rehab. She is going to follow the district guidelines for graduation, and she is on a diploma track. Here's the signature page, and this is where all the different members of the IEP team sign, and you can see parent, student, administrative person. Remember, LEA is a local educational agency. You've got the gen ed teacher and the special education teacher, and then if there's other people who show up, there's room for them to sign as well. So possibly multiple teachers would show up, a lawyer, an advocate, and that takes us through there. And then when her parent, or she, because she is over 18, agrees, then they would sign that they agree with the IEP. So check that box and then sign. It's always important to have notes as well, and so she was given the let's see, please see signature page for attendance. She'll come to school every day and speak up if problems come up. She has a meeting with the Department of Rehabilitation in November, and she was given her procedural safeguards. This is the transition plan. And so the big thing here is that you have to assess your students. So this could be, actual, district approved inventories or assessments, or it could be interviews that you have. Family input is really important. You can create your own family input questionnaire, but you really want to find out what the student's strengths, needs, preferences, and interests are, and what they plan to do after high school. So she was looking at attending City College, and so we did some college awareness stuff. So this is her education goal. This is her post-secondary employment goal. So she wanted to work part-time, so we got her hooked up with a workability internship. So she had an internship to build her resume. And then as far as independent living, she was fine for living with her family, so we didn't include that goal there. This is the second page of it, and it just is looking, is she on track to graduate? And the answer was yes. She only had 20 credits left when this IEP was done. She had passed both parts of the she did not pass both parts of the exit exam, but she did receive an exemption at that time, which they were giving. She was over 17, so she was allowed to sign her own IEP, and all of the goals were measurable post-secondary goals that cover education or training and employment, and remember, she didn't need the independent living goal. So and that brings us to the very last part of the IEP. So as you can see, there's a lot of components here, and they can be really confusing, but overall it gives you a good sense about who the student is and the positive ways that you can be working with all of your students. Please let me know if you have any questions.